Hello and welcome to Loving Your Garden headquarters on a beautiful spring day. What a fantastic time of year this is, isn't it? Everything's starting to come into bud, the colours, oh, it's just beautiful. Well, we thought it would be a good idea and a good time to talk about spring gardening, but also making sure that we've got the basics right so that your garden's looking its best throughout the year. So we're going to do a series of videos with a couple of experts, Martin Fish, RHS judge, well known with his BBC appearances, and John Stirland, his partner in crime, our resident horticulturist at Loving Your Garden. And we thought we'd start with probably the most important thing in the garden, and that is the soil. If we get this right, we've got a fighting chance of having a gorgeous garden. So let's get the guys in.
Yes, I mean, soil is the most important thing in your garden at the end of the day. Everything revolves around having good soil. So if you haven't done your soil prep, now is a good time to do it. And whether you've got clay soil, whether you've got sandy soil, whether you've got acid soil or limey alkaline soil, the best thing you can do with it at this time of the year is to add some organic matter to it. Homemade garden compost, if you can get well rotted manure, if you're lucky enough to live in an area where you can get manure, then that is great, because the more we can get the organic matter into the soil, that will, with clay soil, it opens it up, gets better aeration, better drainage in there. Sandy soil, it actually helps to retain moisture in dry weather. So organic matter is the be all and end all on any soil type. And I'm personally, I prefer to actually work it in a little bit to the soil. I know the modern trend is just to put it on the top, but I find that if you incorporate it a little bit with a fork, tickle it in, then it helps the job along and the worms will pull it down. And if you do that every year, if you can, even if you can't do all the garden in one go, if you can do a section of the garden one year and a bit the next year, so you're doing it every 2 or 3 years, it does improve your soil greatly. It gets the sort of microbes going, all that soil activity, it releases nutrients. So I think that is, to me, the thing to be doing. And I'm doing some at the moment on our borders. I've done a bit of cleaning, got rid of any weeds, bit of pruning that needs to be done, and I'm now getting some homemade garden compost. You can buy mulch as well, that lovely mulch material you buy. What I would say, I have a bit of a bee in my bonnet. I hope I'm allowed a rant.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a little thing on social media only today where somebody is saying improve your soil, perfect, but they've been out and bought bags of multi-purpose compost to spread over the surface, and I think that is just a waste of a resource.
Yeah.
Use that to pot in your plants and growing your seeds,
Yeah.
but not for your soil. That's not what it's designed for. It is a waste.
Yeah. Can I just mention just to add something for Mark? If you're growing vegetables, do make sure that you put your organic matter in at the right time. Put in for things like potatoes, but if you're growing carrots and stuff like that, you don't want to be putting organic matter in. You'll get forked carrots and things like that. It's getting it in at the right time, and also a lot of the organic matter slowly turns your soil acid. So sometimes we sort that out by using lime at certain times, particularly with the vegetables.
Yeah. And on that point, it's a good idea, if you don't know what sort of soil you've got, whether it's acid or alkaline, do a little test. I actually did one yesterday because I'd got a lovely Daphne that I planted last spring. Lovely green leaves, but this year it's just looking a bit yellow. And when I did a pH test on it, it's a very, very alkaline soil where it is, which I think is the problem. So they're only a few pounds to get them in a garden centre. A little test, you put a bit of soil in. There's usually a little capsule of a white powder, which is, I think, barium sulfate. Top it up with water, shake it, and it will tell you what your soil is.
You go to a garden centre and there's just masses of different soil types and different composts. And for the benefit of people who are not entirely certain, what are the sort of nutrients you're talking about adding? What sort of products? And I think we can talk products here that you favour.
Well, I mean, at the moment, we are being able to use peat composts still at the moment, and I do actually use a product called Clover, It is peat-based compost, and I'm going to use that until it's banned or whatever. But no, some of the peat-free ones now are marvellous. You've only got to look at the quality of Rosie and Rob Hardy's plants to
Yeah.
see that, and they're all peat-free now, aren't they, Mark?
Yeah.
They are, yeah. I mean, I'm using at the minute. I'm using plant grow multi-purpose compost
Yeah, that's
in the
good.
greenhouse, and that's doing very well. And it's got a good nutrient base. And they also, I mean, that's for seed sowing and pricking out and potting plants. But in the garden, I'm using some of their mulch as well. They do a
Yeah,
mulch which is all plant-based.
Yeah.
No manure in it, and that's really good. But if you're thinking of nutrients as well in the garden, if you make your own garden compost, there will be some nutrition in that, but not huge amounts. So I always think you need a little bit of extra fertilizer just to give it that boost to make sure that your plants are growing. And I use bloodfish and bone, which is a good organic one. I like Growmore. Growmore's readily available,
Yeah.
fairly balanced. It's not exactly 777 if you analyse it, but it's a good general fertiliser around the garden. So they're great to use.
You said no, you don't have manure in. That you can buy bags of manure in the garden centre for soil conditioning. I mean, would you not recommend it, or?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yes, I mean it's just that the I think it's the plant grow is plant waste in it
Yeah.
because it goes through an anaerobic digester, and some digestate contains manure. I've got no problems using manure in the garden.
No.
I fortunately we've got some people that we know with stables, and they're very good. It's not got much straw in. They just collect all the poo on a daily basis out the field, stick it in a big heap, and when it's rotted down, they let me go down with the trailer and fill it up. And it's brilliant. So I'd be mixing that in the garden, but also with my compost heap with all the leaves and the grass cuttings. And after a year, it is absolutely wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
Can I just add to what Martin said? If you're growing in containers, you're going to need a total food that's got nitrogen, phosphate, potash, and all the trace elements, because
Yeah.
they're totally relying on you for everything that they get.
Yeah,
Apart from a bit
phosphagen,
of nitrogen that comes
Vitax.
down in the rain. That's
Phosphagen,
about it.
Vitax are a couple that come to mind, but
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, look for that complete food. So there you go. I hope you found that interesting. Everything you need to know about the key ingredient for healthy plants, the soil. Getting that right is so important. If you found it useful, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you catch our next episode looking at some of the other spring gardening essentials. See you next week.